guys, I know that June is almost over, but I did promise a May book haul, and that is what you're gonna get today. If you watched my last book haul, then you'll know that I broke my book buying ban in May. And that ban basically stated that I couldn't buy things online anymore because I kind of got a little obsessive about it because it's so easy just to buy books online. So this book haul comes to you in 3 parts. Number 1, what I bought from Thrift Books. Number 2, what I bought in a going out of business sale at a local used bookstore. And number 3, some much anticipated books that I had to buy new. This is a first here at Fangirl Flails. I bought something new in hardcover the month it came out. If you guys hear like weird creaking noises, it's my chair. So that's a thing. Let's start with the least surprising order that I made. This was from Thrift Books. Absolutely great prices, free shipping. I love Thrift Books. And as you guys know, the first book that I bought from there was Scott Pilgrim versus the Infinite Sadness, which is volume 3 of the Scott Pilgrim series. I have already read and reviewed this book, which you can go see in my May reviews part 2. So click the book and go see that. Do you ever find those books that sound really good to you on Goodreads, but they're out of print or they're super expensive on Kindle and it's just impossible to find? Well, Thrift Books got in Out of Time by Paula Martinac. All I know about this book is that it is a lesbian ghost story and it won the Lambada Literary Award for Best Lesbian Fiction in 1990. And it is pretty short. And I love this cover. All the other covers were so ugly and I didn't want to buy those. And finally this came into Thrift Books and I was like, oh yeah, you're mine. And apparently I am collecting lesbian lit because I also got Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. The story behind this book is that Thrift Books had this listing and then they also had a listing for this book in the really pretty illustrated edition. And I bought that one, and they sent me this. It has a sticker that I can't take off. It is freaking ginormous. I don't like this cover, but it's not really worth it to send it back or even to buy the pretty edition that I wanted. Because I own it now, I might as well read it. I know more about Tipping the Velvet than I know about this, but I think it's kind of Oliver Twist-esque. And I think there's some finger fetish things going on. And I know she's an orphan and she steals things, but I don't know anything besides that. I have this now. I'll read it eventually, probably not very soon. The story behind part 2 of this book haul is that there is a used bookstore that I've never been in that's only a few blocks from my house that is sandwiched between a tattoo parlor and a store called So I had always been kind of afraid to go there until I found out that it was closing down because the man who runs it has cancer and he can't be around all the dusty books. So my best friend and I went into the store and oh my god, I should have taken pictures. It looks tiny from the outside, but then inside there are multiple rooms just full of books, like stacked. And there were boxes full of books that were on top of each other. So I think we only saw like maybe 15% of what was actually in the store because everything was like in boxes and I couldn't lift up more than 3 boxes at a time because I'm a weakling. I did manage to find some books and I probably bought books that I didn't really need just because I wanted to help out this guy. So under many boxes, I found Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which is by Edward Albee. This is a play and this was written in the 60s. So I mean, it should be good. It should be a fast, fun-ish little read. Now, this one I wasn't too sure on, but it is a classic that I've been wanting to read because I love this author, but it's also a gross library edition. Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. I cannot wait until October when I'm gonna read this. It has a library card thing in it, and I think that's kind of cool. I have not seen the movie. I'm hoping to do a book to movie adaptation video because Apparently the movie is super creepy. Apparently the book is pretty creepy too. And I just love Bradbury's writing. Right when I walked into the store, I found two Toni Morrison books. First one is probably the most famous of hers, I think, called Beloved. And the second one is Song of Solomon. This one doesn't give any indication of what it's about on the back, and this one is about the aftermaths of slavery, apparently, according to the back. I don't know how accurate that is, but I am really excited to read some of Morrison's work. And then I was super excited to find an Octavia E. Butler book, and this is Parable of the Sower. I am really excited. This is another author that I've been wanting to read, and this edition is probably the one that I would have bought anyway. And obviously I really want to read this author, but I'm not sure what this is about. In fact, I had to Google to make sure this was the first in a series and not second or third. The description on the back doesn't really give me much, so it'll be a surprise. But then I decided, since these books were $2 and I really wanted to help this guy out, that I would pick something up that I have never heard of before but sounds pretty good. So I picked up Pale Demon by Kim Harrison. If any of you guys know Kim Harrison, you know I've made a mistake. I thought maybe this was part of a series, but I opened to the front, right? And it lists all the books in the series, and Pale Demon is at the top. So I'm like, oh, it's the first book in the series. Nope, it's not. It's the 8th. I picked this up because it's an urban fantasy, and I really want to read more adult urban fantasy because I'm not liking the YA urban fantasy. But also because it is a road trip book. Let me just read you the back because it's great. Condemned for black magic, Rachel Morgan has 3 days to get to an annual witches conference in San Francisco to clear her name. If not, she'll be trapped in the demonic ever after forever. But a witch, an elf, a living vampire, and a pixie traveling 2,000 miles in one car is a recipe for disaster. Yes, please. I might actually read the first book and then just read this right after. Let me know what you guys think. If any of you guys know this series, if you think that's an okay thing to do. I'm not big on fantasy. I want to give urban fantasy a go, but I'm not really willing to put in 8 books. And then finally, the moment you have all been waiting for. Any of you have been following me on Twitter, you know I have been obsessing about this book. I have been talking about it nonstop. Like, I kept trying to get people to buy me this book. My family, my Twitter followers. I was that desperate for this book. But I finally gave in and bought Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. Before anyone in the booktubes had this book, I was saving up money to get this damn hardcover. Because, guys, it is about Hollywood and set designing and lesbians. This is my kind of book. And so when everyone kept hauling it, I'm like,
oh my god, no. This is my book. If anyone should have it, it should be me. Because it is everything I love.
Haven't read it yet because I'm going to reward myself after making money because I am a freelance writer and I'm bad at motivating myself. So after I get something done, this is going in my brain. I don't care if I haven't read this yet. I'm gonna recommend it to you because #we need diverse books. Penguin better give me my money back if I hate this book. I gave you free publicity, Penguin. Heyo. And that is everything I had to show you guys today. There should not be a June book haul. There'll probably be a birthday book haul. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge to my Amazon wish list, which I'm removing from the description of my videos as soon as my birthday is over, because then I'll feel really weird about people buying my books, unless it's for my birthday or a holiday or something like that. So yep, not gonna get into the politics of that. That's just how I feel. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Please remember to watch all of my videos in HD. Click the settings down below, 1080p, because that's what I look best in.